Hello, everybody. Greetings. What's going on? This your one and only girl, Tiffany French, coming through right here live in effect. So today we'll be dealing with the topic about um, Earl G Graves, who was the founder of Black Enterprise Magazine, which just happens to be one of my favorite sources to go to when looking into Black businesses or whatnot. And also, today is the founding day for the Phi Beta Sigma. All right. So shout out to all those brothers who's in the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. Shout out to you guys. Happy Founders Day. So I'm going to go into those topics today. So with that being said, let's get started with the Phi Beta Sigma first. All right. So the first thing I want to post up is the logo. As you can see, this is their logo. This is the symbol, the Greek letter, and it was founded in 1914. All right. And I'm going to show you the picture of those who are the founders. All right, these are the founders right here. Okay, as you can see. Peace to those in the chat. Peace to the chat. So these are the founders. These are the three men that founded this fraternity organization. All right. So let's go into the biography. All right, if you can see that screen. All right, so the Phi Beta Sigma, the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity incorporation. So the word fraternity means brotherhood. Okay. And it's a historically African American Greek letter fraternity. It was founded at Howard University in Washington, D.C. on January the 9th, 1914, by three young African American male students with nine other Howard students as charter members. The fraternity's founders, Abram Langston Taylor, Leonard Francis Mose, and Charles Ignatius Brown, wanted to organize a Greek letter fraternity that would exemplify the ideals of brotherhood, scholarship, and service, while taking an inclusive perspective to serve the community as opposed to having an exclusive purpose. The fraternity exceeded the prevailing models of Black Greek letter fraternal organization by being the first to establish alumni chapters, youth mentoring clubs, and a federal credit union, chapters in Africa, and a collegiate chapter outside of the United States. It is the only fraternity to hold a constitutional bond with a historically African American sorority, Zeta Phi Beta, which was founded on January 15, 1920, at Howard University in Washington, D.C., through the efforts of members of Phi Beta Sigma. The fraternity expanded over a broad geographical area in a short amount of time when its second, third, and fourth chapters were chartered at Willie College in Texas and Morgan State College in Maryland in 1915 and Kansas State University in 1917. Today, the fraternity serves through a membership of more than 200,000 men in over 700 chapters in the United States, Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Caribbean. Although Phi Beta Sigma is considered a predominantly African American fraternity, its membership includes college-educated men of African, Caucasian, Hispanic, Native American, and Asian descent. According to its constitution, academically eligible male students of any race, religion, or national origin may join, while enrolled at a college or university through collegiate chapters, or professional men may join through an alumni chapter if a college degree has been attained, along with a certain minimum number of earned credit hours. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated is a member of the National Pan-Hellenic Council and the North American Interfraternity Conference. The current international president is Michael Crystal, and the fraternity's headquarters are located at 145 Kennedy Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. All right. So let's go on a little bit more about founding and how did they come about. So it was in the summer of 1910 after a conversation with a recent Howard University graduate in Memphis, Tennessee. A. Langston Taylor thought to establish a fraternity. Soon after he started as a student at Howard University in Washington, D.C. In October 1913, Taylor and Leonard F. Morris had their initial conversation about starting a fraternity. They included Charles L. Brown as the third of the founding group. By November 1913, they established a committee to develop what was to become Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. Soon after the first committee meeting, Taylor, Morris, and Brown chose 9 associates to join in creating the fraternity. Those men were the first charter members of the organization. All right. So it says on January 9th, 1914, the organization of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity was established in the boiler room of the 12th Street YMCA building in Washington, D.C. On April 15, 1914, the Board of Deans at Howard University officially recognized Phi Beta Sigma, and the following week, the University Reporter, Howard University student newspaper, publicized it. So during the first 2 years of fraternity organization, the fraternity organized and maintained a Sunday school program led by A. Brown and opened a public library and art gallery, which became the foundations of the Benjamin Banneker Research Society and the Washington Art Club, respectively. Abraham M. Walker, a fraternity member, was elected associate editor of the Howard University Journal. The following year, Walker and founder H. Langston Taylor were elected editor-in-chief and circulation manager, respectively. Other fraternity members also advanced to leadership position at Howard. W. F. Vincent, William H. Foster, John Berry, Earl Lawson, among others, were president of the Debating Society, the College YMCA, the Political Science Club, and the Athletic Association, respectively. On the athletic field, Captain John Camber and John House Franklin were standout football players for Howard University. All right, so, and then it goes on to talk about how in the spring of 1915, the fraternity worked to emphasize the intellectual reach. It inducted such African American scholars as Dr. Edward P. David, Dr. Thomas W. Turner, C.M. On March the 5th, 1915. Herbert L. Stevens was initiated as the first graduate member of the Phi Beta Sigma. All right. So we're going to skip down. It says World War I and the Sigma call to arms. Phi Beta Sigma responded to call to arms in 1917 as the United States entered the First World War. Alpha chapter had about 70 members in uniform. During the war, many members entered the service or war work. Many fraternity chapters were depleted and the national office ceased to function. As a result of deaths and other dislocations resulting from the war, the General Board was forced to reorganize. Fraternity President I.L. Shrub asked founder and national treasurer A. Langston Taylor to contact members as soon as they reappear in civilian clothes. Taylor helped revive the fraternity by appealing to members in the U.S. as numerous Sigma men were serving on the European battlefront. Now that's interesting. Let me see some. Okay. All right. And so now let's look at the incorporation and founded Zeta Phi Beta by February 1920. Phi Beta Sigma had expanded to 10 active chapters during the December 1919 conclave. Phi Beta Sigma's first conclave after the war, A. Langston Taylor was given approval from the General Board to assist in the organization of what was to become Phi Beta Sigma sister. Not gonna get into much about this Zeta Phi Beta. You know, we're gonna talk more about them later on. All right. So I just have to keep it moving. So let's go down to what say the Phi Beta Sigma contribution to the Harlem Renaissance. Now, in the 1920s, Also witnessing the birth of Harlem Renaissance, a flowering of African Americans' cultural and intellectual life that began to be absorbed into mainstream American culture. Phi Beta Sigma fraternity brother Allen Leroy Locke is unofficially credited as the father of the Harlem Renaissance. His philosophy served as a strong motivating force in keeping the energy and passion of the movement at the forefront. In addition to Locke, Sigma brothers James Weldon Johnson and A. Philip Randolph were participants in this creative emergence, led primarily by African American community based in the neighborhood of Harlem in New York City. On January 31st, 1920, Phi Beta Sigma was incorporated in the District of Washington, D.C., and became known as Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. All right, and it says in November 1921, the first volume of the Phi Beta Sigma Journal was published. The journal was the official organ of the fraternity. Eugene T. Alexander was its first editor. The following month, the fraternity held its 1921 conclave at Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia. This conference saw the first ever inter-fraternity conference between Phi Beta Sigma and Omega Psi Phi. This would lead to the first inter-fraternity council meeting between the two organizations the following spring in Washington, D.C. All right. So it goes on to say in 1922, founder Taylor called for the assembly of the Black Greek letter organization of Howard University to discuss the formation of a governing council. Although the efforts of Taylor failed on that particular day, they would sow the seeds for what was to become the National Pan-Hellenic Council 8 years later. And in March of 1924, the name of the fraternity's official publication, the Phi Beta Sigma Journal, was changed to the Crescent magazine. The magazine name change was suggested by members of the Mu chapter at Lincoln University to reference the symbolic meaning of the crescent to the fraternity. At the 1924 conclave, a special exhibit introduced the concept of the bigger and better Negro business. This would lead to establishment of bigger and better business as a national program at the 1925 conclave. At the 1928 conclave held in Louisville, Kentucky, the tradition of branding the skin with a hot iron as a part of the initiation process was officially sanctioned by the fraternity. So here it is. There is some fraternity organization, like you will see some fraternity members who have like a branded tattoo on their arm. Now, some people call that scarification. Scarification is basically when it's like a permanent tattoo, but you do it on the skin. Instead of using the ink, you'll use like an iron or something that leaves a permanent mark. So you have members of these fraternity organizations, such as the what Omega or such as the Phi Beta Sigma. They wear those symbols on their arm because to indicate that they are part of the fraternity and they were initiated. Okay, let me read what somebody put. Somebody put, it's too bad the leadership of the D9 has been compromised for white corporate sponsorship, and they were a part of the government Marcus Garvey must go campaign. Well, I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that information. So I will look more into that. That's the only thing I could tell you. But thank you for sharing that. All right. Let's go ahead and continue. So to go down with say Sigma and the Great Depression. In 1929, conclave held in New York City, Dr. Carter G. Woodson was invited as a guest speaker and saw the creation of the Distinguished Service Chapter. The fall of 1929, the crash of the nation's stock market, like many other organizations during this period, Phi Beta Sigma faced financial difficulties, with brothers faced with financial worries. Some members were forced to leave their institution due to lack of funds to continue their education. Several chapters became inactive. The fraternity saw its income drastically shrink to the point of nearly disappear completely. As a result of the bank closure, the remaining funds of the fraternity were froze. Wow. And then it goes on to say, as the nation came to the terms with the Great Depression, Phi Beta Sigma and its members continued implementing programs to support the Black community. In February 1930, the General Board met in New York City and appointed then Vice President of the Eastern Region, Dr. T.H. Wright, as head of the new, bigger, and better business program. The first objective of Phi Beta Sigma's new program was to call upon colleges to provide businesses courses for its students. The fraternity went forward with its plans to implement the bigger and better business program and aid as many financially strapped chapters as possible through scholarship for brothers. Later that year, at the 1930 conclave held in Tuskegee, Alabama, Northern Region Vice President C.L. Roberts suggested that instead of a yearly meeting, the annual conclave should be held once every 2 years. It was also that at this conclave that Brother George Washington Carver delivered an impassioned and emotional speech to the brothers in attendance. All right, so we're going to go down to the civil rights. All right, so Sigma and civil rights movement. As the struggle for the civil rights of African Americans renewed in the 1950s, Sigma men held position of leadership among various civil rights groups, organized protests, and proposed the March on Washington in 1963. In Atlanta, A. Philip Randolph helped with the establishment of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in 1957. Randolph and fraternity brother John Lewis would later be involved with the 1963 March on Washington. Randolph as a key organizer and Lewis as a speaker representing the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. All right, so also, I didn't know Phi Beta Sigma brothers Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale established a revolutionary left-wing Black Panther Party. Originally, the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, their goal was the protection of African American neighborhoods from police brutality in the interest of African American justice. As one of the many advocates of Black Power movement, the Black Panther were considered part of the most significant social, political, and cultural movements in the U.S. history. The movement's provocative rhetoric, militant posture, and cultural and political flourishes permanently altered the contours of American identity. Now, I do remember when I did a video about Huey P. Newton back a while back, that he had a degree in social philosophy and he was a part of the fraternity, which was the Phi Beta Sigma. All right. So let's go down to the history. In 1970, Brother Melvin Evans was elected the first governor of the United States Virgin Islands. In 1979, Phi Beta Sigma celebrated its 65th anniversary conclave in Washington, D.C. in 1983. Sigma brother Harold Washington became the first African-American mayor of the city of Chicago, Illinois. In 1986, the fraternity opened the Phi Beta Sigma Federal Credit Union, which members of the fraternity, members of the sister sorority, Zeta Phi Beta, their families and respective regions and chapters. With the establishment of the credit union, Phi Beta Sigma became the first NPHC organization to offer such an entity to its members. In 1989, the fraternity celebrated its Diamond Jubilee in Washington, D.C. Also in that year, Brother Edison O. Jackson became the president of Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, New York in 1990. Two Sigma brothers made significant first in their respective fields as Brother Charles E. Freeman and Morris Overstreet were elected the first district judge of the Illinois Supreme Court and the first African American elected by popular vote to a statewide office in the state of Texas, respectively. In 1995, the fraternity was the only NPHC organization involved with the planning and support of the Million Man March, as Brother Benjamin Chavez Muhammad served as the national coordinator of the march. So now let's go down to where it says the 21st century. Okay, you guys still there? All right. So down where it says the 21st century. In 2001, Sigma brother Rod Page became the first African American Secretary of Education. At the 2013 conclave in Memphis, Tennessee, the fraternity added projects SWWAC and SATAP as national programs in an attempt to combat cancer and teen pregnancy. In addition to those projects, the fraternity added Project Vote and the Phi Beta Sigma Capitol Hill Summit under the Social Action umbrella. At the 2007 conclave in Charlotte, North Carolina, the fraternity introduced the Sigma Wellness Initiatives as the latest national program. The 2009 conclave in New Orleans saw former President William Jefferson Clinton accepted honorary member invitation to Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. The fraternity noticed abuse of its trademark by the clothing designer Ralph Lauren. Uh-oh. Let me read that again. The fraternity noticed abuse of its trademark by the clothing designer Ralph Lauren in early January of 2020. The design incorporated the fraternity's name along with other symbolism on fabric of pants offered for sale on its website. The fraternity objected and explained in a seized and dissected letter that such usage was in violation of trademark and was not developed as fraternity approved sportswear. Black Enterprise magazine profiled this controversy in a January 2020 article. Well, let's look into that real quick. Hold on, let's look into that real quick. Let's look into this controversy about Ralph Lauren. Okay, so I'm in rollingout.com. Let me look it up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, this is a big no-no right here. Hold on. Okay, so Ralph Lauren blasted for stealing Phi Beta Sigma's letters to sell 299 pens. Hmm. Let me look it up. And it says Black Greeks continue to make headlines. On the same day that rapper Boosie faced backlash for wearing a Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity shirt, Ralph Lauren Sigma letters to sell products. After the Ralph Lauren clothes were introduced, members of the Phi Beta Sigma called out the clothing brand and created a petition. The pants were retail for $299. That's around $300. Let's see. Is this it right here? Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow, yeah, that is disrespectful. Look at this. It says these are being sold for $299 or pound on Ralph Lauren French site with Phi Beta Sigma printed on them. Ralph messing with the right wrong for fat frat when it comes to legality, but to have the Phi Beta Sigma letters printed on the back of the knee in red and black is disrespectful. Wow. Let's see. Oh wow. Oh, wow, that's strange. That's very crazy. Hmm. Let's see what else they had to say. They said the use of these symbols on our products was an oversight for which we deeply apologize. We are immediately taking action to remove the product from our sales channels while we have a rigorous review process in place for all of our designs. This has promoted us to take another review of our protocols to help ensure that this does not happen again. The company said in a statement, as an American brand with more than 50 years of heritage, Ralph Lauren is inspired by many facets of American culture. As part of this, we are firmly committed to respectful and appropriate use of all cultural icons and insignia. The statement adds, Ralph Lauren also shared that they will no longer sell the pants with the Phi Beta Sigma letters. Phi Beta Sigma has yet to reveal if the organization will file a lawsuit against the clothing giant. Woo! Well, how interesting. Uh, how interesting. Wow. So here it is. They take the name or the letters, the Greek letter that belong to the Black fraternity organization, and put it on the pants to market the sale at $299 or $300, and without their consent. That's real interesting. But let's go ahead and move right along. I just want to post it up real fast. All right. Let's continue with the biography. All right. So, okay. Now it says purpose of the fraternity. The founders deeply wish to create an organization that views itself as part of the general community rather than apart from the general community. They believe that each potential member should be judged by his own merits rather than his family background or affluence. Without regard of skin tone or texture of hair, they wish and wanted their fraternity to exist as part of even a greater brotherhood, which would be devoted to the inclusive we rather than the exclusive we. The fraternity's defiance of stereotypes that have plagued other organizations indeed goes back to the founders themselves with their careful and deliberate building of the fraternity by promoting a membership with diverse backgrounds. All right. And then here's the motto. It said this deep conviction was mirrored in the fraternity motto, culture for service and service for humanity. Today's Phi Beta Sigma has blossomed into an international organization of leaders. The fraternity has experienced unprecedented growth and continues to be a leader among issues of social justice as well as prominent of interest of minority communities, the needy, the oppressed, and the youth. No longer a single entity, the fraternity has now established the Phi Beta Sigma Educational Foundation, the Phi Beta Sigma Housing Foundation, the Phi Beta Sigma Federal Credit Union, and a noble youth auxiliary program, the Sigma Beta Club, and the Phi Beta Sigma Charitable Outreach Foundation. All right. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to go down and we're going to look at some incidents that took place. Okay. So right here, we're going to read in 2012, then Phi Beta Sigma International President Jimmy Hammock, along with the National Action Network led by Sigma member Al Sharpton, launched a coalition whose aim was to combat hazing culture, not just within the Black Greek letter organization, but also the broader community at large. The coalition also pledged their support of federal anti-hazing legislation that was being spearheaded by United States House of Representative member Frederica Wilson. As part of the campaign, the fraternity developed an anti-hazing training materials, held a town hall meeting facilitate workshops, and encourage local chapters to participate in the annual National Anti-Hazing Awareness Day. The Phi Beta Sigma's effort to eliminate hazing from the fraternity continues as local chapters are now mandated to participate in anti-hazing awareness workshops. Uh-oh, what happened? Let's see what took place. Notable hazing incident. In 1992, a pledge at Southern University, Baton Rouge, went blind after being intentionally hit in the head with a frying pan by a member of the fraternity. In 1996, the fraternity was sued by a former pledge and football player at the University of Georgia for violating hazing law. As a pledge, he was hospitalized with bruises to his buttock and torn blood vessels due to being paddled by fraternity members. 3 members were arrested and pled guilty to hazing and battery charges. Okay, so let's skip on. In 2006, 7 Sigmas were arrested for beating pledges from the University of South Carolina. One known pledge was hospitalized due to the severe beating and torment. Okay, and this one goes on to say in 2009, Donnie Wade Jr., a student at Prairie View A&M University, died of extreme exhaustion due to illegal hazing activity while he was pledging the fraternity. His family filed a $97 million lawsuit. A $97 million lawsuit against the fraternity and chapter was temporarily expelled from the campus for several years. So let's skip down to in 2015. The fraternity was kicked off the campus of Salisbury University until spring 2017. The university had received several anonymous complaints of pledges being beaten with paddles, forced to drink alcohol, and being harassed. Mm. Wow. Wow. How interesting. How interesting. Okay, so let's go down to the notable members. All right, so here are the list of the members that are ranging from arts and entertainment to sports. So the fraternity membership roster includes heads of state Benjamin Inami Ezekwe, Kwame Nkrumah, William Tolbert, and William D.S. Tubman, the past president of Nigeria, the Republic of Ghana, and Liberia, respectively. Other notable members include scientist George Washington Carver, the first Black Rhodes Scholar Alan Leroy Locke, Black Panther Party founder Gary P. News, organizer of the Million Man March Benjamin Travis Muhammad, civil rights activist John Lewis, late Hosea Williams, and Reverend Al Sharpton, musician The Original Temptation, actors Blair Underwood and Terrence Howard, TV personality Al Roker, and professional athlete Myron M. Golton, Jesse Small, Aaron Jones, Jerry Rice, Emmett Smith, Hines Ward, Richard Sherman, and Ryan Howard. All right. So here's all the international presidents. And the one that is current president today is Michael E. Crystal. All right, the conclave is the legislative power of the Phi Beta Sigma. All right, so that's all. So if you guys want to learn more about the Phi Beta Sigma, here's some more information. You can find it on the Wikipedia website, or you can just ask the members who are currently a part of the organization if you are interested to know more about it. So again, happy Founders Day to the members of the what's the name of the Phi Beta Sigma organization. Happy Founders Day to you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you all celebrate and be safe. All right. So, and their color is blue and white. So blue and white is their color. All right. So if y'all see any brothers that's a part of the Phi Beta Sigma. Wish them a happy Founders Day, and that's that. So we're gonna go on to the next person. So the next person that I'm gonna talk about is he was the founder of Black Enterprise. Today is his born day, which is January the 9th of 1935. He was born in Brooklyn, New York. His name is Earl G Graves Sr. So I'm going to show you who he looks like. All right, so that's Earl G Graves Sr., right? That's the book that he's holding in his hand, and it's called How to Succeed in Business Without Being White. Now, this man was an entrepreneur. He was a philanthropist. Not only he was a philanthropist, but he also founded the Black Enterprise magazine. Salute to the brother in the chat. Thank you for coming through. All right. So let's go ahead and look into his biography. All right. As you can see, if you can see my screen, this is Earl G. Graves Sr. All right. There you go, right there. That's him again. All right. So Earl Gilbert Graves Sr., who was born January 9th, 1935, and he died April 5th of 2020, which was the year that just passed. He was an American entrepreneur, publisher, businessman, philanthropist, and advocate of African American businesses. A graduate of Morgan State University, he was the founder of Black Enterprise magazine and chairman of the media company Earl G. Graves Ltd. He was the director of Antenna and executive board members of the Boy Scouts of America. He was the father of Earl G. Graves Jr. Now, here's his background. He was born in New York. He grew up in Bedford Stuyvesant, or also known as Bed-Stuy, section of New York City, a member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. He received a bachelor's of arts in economics in 1958 from Morgan State University. He was an ROTC graduate and attended Airborne and Ranger schools. Having written a letter to the Democratic National Committee, he became a volunteer for the 1964 presidential campaigns of Lyndon B. Johnson. His work with the party gave Graves the opportunity to serve as the administrative assistant to newly elected Senator Robert F. Kennedy in 1955. Following the assassination of the senator, Graves would land a seat on the advisory board of the Small Business Administration in 1968. All right. Just give me one moment, please. All right, I'm back, you guys. So let's look at his business ventures. He undertook his first job at the age of 7, selling box Christmas cards for his uncle. His territory was severely limited due to his follow rules that he could only sell to people living on their side of the block. While at Morgan State University, Graves made a name for himself as an entrepreneur, realizing that there was a big market for flowers during homecoming week. He went to two competing local florists and cut deals with both to sell flowers on campus. A percentage of the profits, the florist or the florist provided the flowers while Graves covered the campus. His time serving on the SBA's advisory board and his direct work with the agency would lead Graves to his belief in the need for advice to businesses in economic development and urban affairs, which convinced him to create an annual newspaper that he would chronicle issues relevant to Black business people and raise awareness of the importance of Black consumer power. The suggestion of the SBA director, Howard J. Samuels, Graves would expand the concept of a newsletter into a full-fledged magazine. All right? Graves started Earl G. Graves Ltd. and under that holding company, he began the Earl G. Graves Associate Management Consulting Firm. In August of 1970, the first issue of Black Enterprise magazine would hit newsstands. Earl G. Graves Ltd. would grow to include a number of divisions, including publishing, marketing, radio, television, and event coordinating arms. The firm is the co-owner of the private equity fund Black Enterprise Greenwich Street Corporate Growth Fund and Equity Partnership formed with the Travelers Group Inc. Incorporated. The fund aims to invest and promote minority operated businesses. All right. From 1990 to 1998, Graves was CEO to Pepsi Cola bottling franchise in Washington, D.C. He held board and director membership with a number of other corporations, including AMR Corporation, Daimler AG, Federal Department Stores, and Rum and Haas, as well as board member of the American Museum of Natural History and Hayden Planetarium in the New York City. He was also a member of the board of trustees of Howard University. Okay. So, and he has other accomplishments. Graves received the Silver Buffalo Award from the Boy Scouts of America in 1988 and served as the National Commissioner from 1985 to 1994. He received the NAACP Spring Guard Medal in 1999. In 2002, Graves was named as one of the 50 most powerful and influential African Americans incorporated America by Fortune magazine. Graves was appointed by the administration of George W. Bush to serve on the Presidential Commission for National Museum of African American History and Culture. On April 26, 2007, Earl G. Graves Sr. was inducted to the Junior Achievement U.S. Business Hall of Fame. In 2009, he became the recipient of the 2009 NCAA Silver Anniversary Award. In his honor, Morgan State University Business School was named Earl G. Graves School of Business and Management. It was opened in 2015. A special thanks to Mr. Graves is included in Dear Max documentary, No Lie, an African American beauty story. So he died in White Plains, New York on April the 6th, 2020 from complication of Alzheimer's disease at the age of 85. All right, so if you want to look up more information, it's down here at the bottom. Here's the reference, and here's the external link. So you can go on here, look on Wiki1 or Wikipedia, and find out more information. All right, so with that being said, I want to leave on a thought. So with all the fraternities and sorority organization, again, The foundation was built on the concept of brotherhood and sisterhood and serving the work of humanity, and also being able to give one a rite of passage. However, you have those individuals who will abuse those powers and give a bad name or bad representation to those who are very sincere and who very passionate about the work they are doing for others, especially the ones in their community. All right. But again, I want to give a special shout out to all the sororities and all the fraternity organizations out there. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to those of you that are work. Shout out to those of you that are very productive, working together, coexisting. Shout out to you all and salute. All right. Also, I want to give thanks to Mr. Graves, the founder of Black Enterprise, for bringing on this opportunity for Blacks who are entrepreneurs and showcase their business and be able to marketing themselves when nobody else wanted to put them on market. When Wall Street didn't want to put Black businesses on market. When the New York Times didn't want to put people on market. When all these other companies didn't want to advertise and all these other magazines didn't want to advertise Black business. Oh, you say my video is lagging a little bit. I don't know what's going on with that. That's nothing I can do about that. I don't know. I don't know why it's lagging. Can't you see me? I hope you can see me. Can anybody see me before I continue? Let me know. Let me know if y'all can see me. Can you guys hear me? Are you able to hear me? Okay, cool. All right. I don't know why it's lagging. I don't understand why, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the service. Maybe it's YouTube itself. I don't even know. I don't know why, to be honest with you. So, but anyway, that's what I was saying though. Um, yes, I wanted to give thanks and give credit to the late Earl G Graves for founding the magazine such as Black Enterprise, which gave more opportunity for Blacks to promote their business and market their business when nobody else wanted to give Black people the opportunity to do so. He made it possible. He made it reasonable. Also, give thanks to the founder of Ebony and Jet magazine, John H. Johnson, who I would do one day as far as his background and his entrepreneurial work, but he has also given opportunity to those who not only in the entertainment business, but also those who are in the entrepreneur business and whatnot. So I want to give thanks to him and also Essence Magazine um, for allowing to promote more and more Black people. So what I'm saying is these magazine companies have created foundations for other websites such as blacknews.com. Also, what's the name? What's that lady's name? S.O. Nicole. I think that's her name is S.O. Nicole. Yeah, she is more so like Jet and Ebony magazine. She deals with a lot of African American issues and a lot of business and whatnot. So they have created outlets and platforms for other African American publishing companies and magazine companies to be able to put more information, put more focus into the Black community and whatnot. So we really want to thank them for that. We want to thank them for their hard work and for their effort and what they have done. I really appreciate it. So we must take the time out and honor those who have put in the work while they were here. You know what I'm saying? Because they have put in a tremendous work. And it's not easy, especially as the so-called minority or African American, to get your business promoted, get your name promoted, and get your name put out there on the forefront. It wasn't very easy. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of dedication and focus, but he was able to do it and he made it possible. So with that being said, I appreciate every last one of you for tuning in and watching the video. For those of you who couldn't really see my video because it was lagging, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't know what's going on. I don't have a clue about why it's doing that. So hopefully you got most of it. And if you want to share the video, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to hit the notification bell, please make sure you do that. Subscribe to the channel whenever I come on, and like the channel. And also make sure you check out other channels as well. Make sure you check out Team Osiris. Make sure you check out Brother Consul Sheshmua Moon. He's doing his thing. Shout out to him. Make sure you check out Kofi Pie TV, New Black Knowledge, Pseudo Killers. Shout out to that girl CK, the poet. She doing her thing over there in Pseudo Killers. Shout out to her. The Maze Warriors Clan. You can check out the Dagger Squad. Check out all the different YouTube channels out there. Those who are out here doing the foundational work and bringing about the education to the people. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you just, get a little idea of. Shout out to Sister Courtney Omega. Normally she'll be here, but shout out to her as well. You can check out Courtney Omega's channel. She deals with a lot of African American issues, crisis, finances, all that great stuff, and politics as well. And whoever else I didn't call, I want to give y'all a shout out as well too. So with that being said, you all have a wonderful day. Please be safe. Take it easy on yourself. And I will reconnect with you guys later. All right. So until next time, peace. All right.